met a gypsy.
That was one of the races where I just was kind of like flabbergasted, and like my respect, I guess like the obvious level that the sport has reached was on display that night with you two guys. And it was just like your commitment to go through those whoops for that main event, to break down Eli, to then get that win. That to me encapsulated that. And when, to change gears a little bit, but like to see Roxon pull out of the series, I'm like, dude, A3. Look at A3. That's what you have to do to win. Kenny got out front at Anaheim 1, kind of rode his own race, Chase crashed, track wasn't super gnarly, and he got the win. On a night like A3, I don't know that the Ken Roxon that exists as a person is willing to do what Jason Anderson did at A3 through those whoops. You know, Eli Tomac wasn't willing to do what Jason Anderson was willing to do. So it's like, to see, it almost even looks to me like it's gotten so gnarly that you're seeing a guy like Ken Roxon be like, nah, I'm not prepared to fucking do this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's commitment. It really is, because every time I went into those whoops, like it was nerve wracking, because I got to the point at the end, like I was like still like just, you don't try and hit him fast, you just try and hit him. It's like survival. Yeah. And I knew Eli was hitting him good in the beginning, and then once it got towards the end, I made a mistake one time, but he also made a mistake like the same lap. And dude, those things ate people up. Look at the 250 main, look at Hunter, the crazy part is their last lap was our first lap. You know, so you got to think, it was eating those 250 guys up. We still had 20 minutes on those same whoops with no prep. So it's dude, it's ridiculous. But I believe that the whoops weren't that unsafe, but it allowed a very small window of error, you know? Because I think that each rider can get to the end, and if they have a crash, it's going to be like slow, you know? I think whoops, the way they have them this year, is how they should have them every year in Supercross. And I think that Eli's been better than me sometimes and stuff like that. But for me, I'm like I said, like I want another shot at a championship. And if it takes me being that committed, that's what it takes. And it's tough because you just got to bring it from within you to do that. I mean, you talk to yourself in your head the whole time you're in those main events, but that is what it is, and that's what it takes, you know. And it's the amount of conversations I have with myself in my head when I'm racing is pretty insane. But that's when you pull it off, it makes it that much cooler.
What are the thoughts that you've got? Like, are you like talking yourself around the track for those races? Because that, like you said, the level of commitment is just so high. Like, it's got to be a weird feeling to force yourself to do those things.
Yeah, it's a tough thing too, is like the way we train and everything like that. We have weekends where we're flat, and you know, days where you just feel off. You don't even feel like your thoughts are moving as quick as they should be, you know? So sometimes trying to pull the best performance out of yourself, because we race, you know, 17 weekends with 1 weekend off. There's no way you could be firing on all cylinders all those weekends. You know, these guys, even if they win, sometimes they may not feel the best, and they may not feel like their brain's processing stuff as quick as they should be. But you've got to figure out a way to pull it from within yourself. And yeah, it's tough. So like talking to yourself, you got to lie to yourself. You really do. And I know a lot of these guys do it, but you literally got to lie yourself and talk yourself into telling yourself like, you're fine. Like, what? You woke up tired. Good joke. You are actually have the most energy you've ever had in your life.
So you play with yourself to that level.
Fuck yeah, everyone does. If they don't, they're lying. Which I'm totally cool with it. I'm totally cool with lying to myself a little bit, you know. That's the same as like I said, like the other day, like I didn't have a good weekend, and on Sunday I was just like a little upset, and I was trying to lie to myself to tell myself I'm happy, you know, but I wasn't. And that's kind of the same process you have on the track. Like, I'm tired. What? You're not fucking tired. Don't be a pussy. Come on, you're fine. Like, that's what you tell yourself. But it's just, fuck. It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, man. I just that A3 main event to me was really like if you wanna ever appreciate Supercross and the level that it's got to, just go and watch that main event and just see. There's just so many layers that you can analyze that race. And I mean, just like the way that you and Eli had the battle, and then the commitment through the whoops, and the way that everyone else was crashing, and the level at which like you're either on the front pace or you're so far off the pace, it's crazy. And it, even just the disparity in between like the best guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. And it's crazy how much you want it, and sometimes I even surprise myself on how much I want it, because sometimes, like, dude, even at Detroit, like, I fell, but I tell you, I tried my heart out to get back on my bike and get going, and I just, no matter what, I just couldn't. Like, and that sucks, because that is the biggest moment of like being so desperate that you will do anything, I was saying this the other day, like, on how desperate you are as a dirt bike racer. I remember when I was flying to Vegas and I was about to win my first Supercross championship. I had to get like 11th. I should have won it the weekend before, but I did my front wheel thing. And I was so desperate just to get there and get it over with. I remember like being in the plane, and these are thoughts that go through my head. Like, everyone has crazy thoughts, but plane had turbulence, and in my head I'm like, oh, fuck, like, at least let me just get through this weekend and win this championship. If my plane goes down, just let it happen on the way home. Like, I have like those like weird, like, I'm just like, I'm so desperate. I just want to win this and just get this fucking over with. And then if anything happens, let it happen on Sunday, but those are just things that you think of in your head that is just like, it's just as a thoughts, that you can't help. It's kind of crazy.
And it's like you wonder like where that shit comes from. You just don't have you don't have a choice in that at all. Like you don't choose the things that you want at all. And then they can like, you can attach to those things, and it's like you're just being compelled to do shit.
It's crazy, but it's cool too. And that's one thing I wish, like, you see all these mini dads and stuff like that, dude, nothing you do is going to make your kid win. If your kid wants it, it's just going to happen. There's so much shit he has to go through that, like, this kid, he likes dirt bikes now. He hasn't hit puberty. He hasn't discovered girls. Like, dude, that will throw a curveball in it. Like, he's not going to want to hang out with you forever. Like, you're his dad and he loves you right now. But dude, I guarantee you when he turns 14, he's like, oh, fuck my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you can't control anything. And that's what I think parents, athletes, like me as who I am, you just gotta just be like, fuck it, just go with it, do what you want, and try your hardest. I've been saying recently, actually I did like a friend's podcast the other day, and he just said like words to like what words do you have to live by at the moment. And I've been thinking about it, but I've never like really said it out loud. But it's like, basically just do your best and be super cool when your best isn't good enough. Because like your best is like, even when you do your best, bro, like, it's not in your control. Your best might just be worthless in that situation. And it could be,
and that's cool. Like, be okay with that.
Dude, I know, I've been trying to be better at that. Like, sometimes when I'm doing practice at the races, we have like the board where your name pops up if you're like P1. And sometimes I'll do a lap and I'll try my hardest, and I'm like, oh dude, that was definitely like P1. Like, that was a good lap, and it doesn't even go up there, and I'm like, oh, I gotta be okay with that, but I'm not okay with it, It's tough sometimes. You gotta tell yourself you're okay with it, but sometimes you just aren't. But I try and keep it cool when I'm not.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, GYPSYTales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.